I don't know if you guys have noticed, he hasn't been campaigning for the last week and a half or so. And I had heard a lot of people talking about how we're seeing a lot of JD Vance, unfortunately. Fortunately, because it's comedy gold, but no one's really seen Trump lately. And it seems like Trump seems like, he just got dumped by his girlfriend. Ever since Joe Biden dropped out, he has just been, crestfallen. And John, actually, you know what? I just thought about this. But yesterday we were looking for this quote here, or this post that Donald Trump made. And he wrote this yesterday. He's like, what are the chances that crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, whose presidency was unconstitutionally stolen from him by Kamala, Barack Hussein Obama, crazy Nancy Pelosi, shifty Adam Schiff, crying Chuck Schumer, and others on the lunatic left, crashes the Democrat National Convention and tries to take back the nomination, beginning with challenging me to another debate. He feels that he made a historically tragic mistake by handing over the United States presidency, a coup, to the people in the world he most hates, and he wants it back now. I love it. I love it because that is that was a very unhinged post. Even for Donald Trump, that was pretty wild. Naming off like 5 of his nicknames for his enemies and all that. So people are like, is Trump okay? But he is okay, everyone. And he made a speech today, gave a press conference. Now, I'm going to show a few parts of the conference here. Unfortunately, in the video I have, you can't really hear the questions. So I'm going to kind of just prompt what they're talking about here. And the first one is going to be about, where'd my paper go? First one is going to be about, I think, just the general part of the election. So let me find this for everyone.
They're very powerful countries, and we don't know what we're doing. We have leadership that has no clue how to handle them or how to handle any other situation. We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing. Took many years, took decades to recover from it. And we're very close to that. We're very close to a world war. In my opinion, we're very close to a world war. We have people that don't know how to handle it. They're not respected. All over the world, they're laughed at. And we can't have that. Most dangerous period of time I've ever seen for our country. With that being said, we have somebody that hasn't received 1 vote for president, and she's running. And that's fine with me. But we were given Joe Biden, and now we're given somebody else. And I think, frankly, I'd rather be running against somebody else. But that was their choice. They decided to do that because Kamala's record is horrible.
So that's the first thing that I wanted to point out, is that Trump is still obviously heartbroken about the fact that he can't run against Joe Biden. Why does he keep going with this strategy? Why does he keep complaining that he can't run against Joe Biden anymore? Because it's been like 2 weeks now. And every time he makes a public presentation or a public statement about it, he is whining that he can't run against Joe Biden. I don't know what he plans, how he plans to get any more votes from that.
TJ, he doesn't. There is no campaign strategy. There is nothing. The entire strategy was Donald Trump does what he wants and beats Joe Biden because he's almost dead. That was the entire strategy. There was no game plan. There was no contingency plan. Donald Trump, I don't even think cares about winning anymore. I think he just wanted to run to beat Joe Biden because Joe Biden beat him. I genuinely don't even watching that. His heart just doesn't seem in it, TJ. He's it seems like it's out of him. I loved what you said about how he feels like he got dumped by his girlfriend. That is the vibes I'm getting from him ever since then. It's just loser kind of, I don't care anymore energy. What do you think, EK?
It's like they took all the wind out of sails when Joe Biden stepped down. Can we go back to that unhinged post that he made again? There's something.
I X'd out of it, yeah, so I don't have it up on here. But
TJ, come on,
the presidency was stolen from Joe Biden. So is he now admitting that Joe Biden won?
Yeah.
The presidency can't be stolen from Joe Biden if he wasn't really if he didn't actually win the presidency. So, but yeah, it's pathetic, man. Like it's like, dude, where's the charisma? Like, where is the riz of the man who was like just riffing at the Republican National Convention for 90 minutes straight? Like, 20 minutes of it was like, oh shit, this might actually be a different tone, and then an additional like bonus 90 minutes of, oh no, it's still him. Like, it's still all of the bullshit. That man is gone now.
Look, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Well, I wonder if it's the narrative that we're placing on it right now, or genuinely he's going through something physically. Because, like, he did have an attempt on his life, which is traumatizing. Like, he was centimeters from death, and he's very old, and he might just also be fucking like he was falling asleep at his courtroom appearances. He's falling asleep at the RNC. He just might also be old, and we didn't quite notice it as much because Biden was like a walking corpse.
Yeah,
but like he has less campaign appearances than you would expect from a candidate. He might
who's losing right now.
Who's losing? I think part of it's incompetence. I also think part of it he's just old. Yeah, and he can't do it anymore.
Look, I had that written down. I'm so glad you guys brought that up, because watching these clips, that was what was running through my mind as well. It's like, yo, this guy doesn't have it. I mean, Donald Trump was always a charismatic and fun person, especially to his audience. You could tell his energy was there, but his heart just doesn't seem to be in it anymore. Like it seems like he has this, he's making the same speech every time, every day for the last 8 years, whatever. But he just goes there, he's just running. You'll see the next couple clips I have. He's running through the motions or whatever, says a few things that are interesting. But you know how some people are just good at flirting. Some people are just born with like the flirting gene, and these guys, they flirt. My dad is like this. So my dad is a world-class gold medal flirter. And so he flirts when he's not trying. It's just his natural state. Like my dad rizzes for the love of the game. He doesn't have a goal in mind. This is just how he is.
Just a dog chasing cars.
Exactly. It's just and that's kind of how Trump is with like his appearance and shit. And it's evaporated. There's just nothing. He's like a shell of his former self. And I think a lot of it was hidden because, his opponent was falling apart and aging even faster than he was. But now that he's against someone who's 20 years younger and not insane, you can really tell on this. What do we have here? Heather says, Trump dumped by his girlfriend. I love the idea of Trump and Biden dating. They can hold hands in the nursing home while they wait for their coffee and Little Debbie's in the afternoon. And oh my God, wow, he does sound like a dirty boyfriend. Yeah, he really does. Like, he won't shut up about it. He will not shut up about how much he misses Joe Biden. And it's a little gay. I'm not gonna say it. It just seems that way to me. I just want to put it out there.
It's like from Kill Bill Volume 2, which is like, which R do you feel, relief or regret? This motherfucker feels regret. He wanted to be the one to take Biden out.
He do, yeah. All right, so this one right here, what I got, the 31-minute mark. This is actually, I forgot what this was. Let me see what this is. Surprise us both.
I think the abortion issue.
I wonder if we got the same one.
Okay, let me see.
It was written very much tempered down, and I've answered, I think, very well in the debate. And it seems to be much less of an issue, especially for those where they have the exceptions, as you know. And I think it's when I look for 52 years, they wanted to bring abortion back to the states. They wanted to get rid of Roe v. Wade. And that's Democrats, Republicans, and independents, and everybody, liberals, conservatives, everybody wanted it back in the states. And I did that. Now the states are voting. And frankly, some of the votes are much more, if you could say, liberal than you would think. Ohio turned out to be, they had a big vote, and it turned out to be a much more liberal standing than people would have thought. Kansas, the same thing. And then you have Texas, and you have other places where it may be different. But the issue has been brought back to the states now. And like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly. I think that that's a very important thing. I think when you have to follow your heart. But when you don't believe in the exceptions, I think it's much tougher. It's a much tougher issue. But about 82% of Republicans do believe in exceptions. I think and a lot of them are changing their mind and coming even further. I think that abortion has become much less of an issue. It's a very small, I think it's actually going to be a very small issue. What I've done is I've done what every Democrat and every Republican wanted to have done, and we brought that issue back to the states. And now the states are voting on it. And frankly, some of the votes are a lot different than people would have thought. But it's the vote of the people is taking care of it. And, you know, when you think about the radical.
All right. So I was waiting for a part here. I don't know if it was in that part. He may have talked about it twice, but I don't know if it's when you saw, John. But the first thing I want to talk about that is I don't know how people keep letting him get away with saying this, that everyone wanted it returned to the states when essentially nobody wanted that. It was just the hardcore Republicans that wanted it. But they asked him in there how he would be voting on Florida's abortion law, because Florida has I can't remember what it's called. It's called the bill to stop government interference on reproductive health or something like that. And Florida is a 60% state. So these initiatives need 60% of the vote to pass. And the polls I saw were all like 62, 63. Like they were leaning heavy on actually passing this. And they asked Donald Trump how he planned to vote on this measure. And he said, well, you know, I'm thinking about that. I have my decision. I'll be making a statement on that pretty soon. What do you guys think of this? I think Donald Trump may come out as pro-choice on this one. Like, why not at this point, right? I mean, what do you have to lose? I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see where he turns out on this, because it's weird that he's not saying that, yeah, I'm the pro-life guy, that he's actually hedging his bets on this. I think he's worried. What do you think, EK?
So we said like 52 years ago, they wanted to bring it back to the states. 52 years ago, a conservative Supreme Court is the one that initiated Roe v. Wade, that had the Roe v. Wade ruling. You know, like it was, what was it, something like a 7-2 majority?
Yeah, it was big. Like it was overwhelming.
Yeah, it was a conservative stacked Supreme Court. So like that's the idea that, you know, conservative people were always against it or stuff like that is just a complete fallacy. It was a very small contingent of people who, you know, to their credit, worked very hard for 50 something years and, you know, made it an issue within their party where it completely changed the landscape of who could actually run and be elected as a Republican. Like the type of grassroots organizing I wish we could see on the left, if I'm being honest. But yeah, like the notion that people weren't with it is just a complete fallacy as far as how he's sort of at a catch-22.
Yep.
Because like some of there was like a news story a few weeks ago where a contingent of evangelicals were trying to get him to say that he supported a nationwide abortion ban. Otherwise, they were not going to like tell the people to vote for him. Now, those same people are probably still going to vote for him because of some other wedge issue bullshit, like culture war stuff, whatever. Like that's just the nature of the beast. But like, you know, there's a large contingent of people who are willing to still make that their one single issue, like to vote for. And like, he can't displease them, but at the same time, it is very much going to hurt him. Like if he like comes out even further into like the whole pro-life thing, oh, well, actually, yeah, we do need to support this. So like he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. And I think that's why he sounds just like, you know, so defeated in that speech, because like he can't really say like anything that isn't going to like make one side twist the knife further than the other side.
Yeah, the thing that really gets Trump stuck is that, and I've been saying this since 2016, he's not pro-life. like Donald Trump, if you put him to a lie detector, he does not give a shit about abortion. He claims to be pro-life because he wants to be the champion of the Republican Party, and the Republican Party is pro-life. That's why he, like, when he says it, he's like, I don't get it, guys. I was told that everyone wanted this. I was told that we're supposed to want pro-life. We're supposed to want Roe v. Wade to end. And what he never got was they don't. Republicans didn't actually want Roe v. Wade to end. They just wanted to complain about it. And he did it. And when he did it, that everyone was like, dude, what the fuck? Don't do that. We're fucked now. And that's why he's like, guys, I really don't think it's going to be that big an issue. Even though it clearly fucking is. It was in 2022. It's going to be again in 2024. He just kind of has to keep believing the lie to have a chance, because he can't now go back and be like, no, guys, I've been pro-choice this whole time. He can't do that. But he also is, as you said, EK, he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. There's no way out of this corner he's painted himself into. And I think that kind of explains why he never really gives very clear answers on this topic, because he's never personally been pro-life. We all know he's paid for multiple abortions in his life. I would bet my life savings that he has paid for at least 3 abortions in his life, and I think that's really hitting the under pretty darn hard. What do you think, TJ?
Yeah, I always say that Trump has absolutely paid for multiple abortions in his life, and from the way he acts, he wishes he paid for a few more, if you know what I'm saying. That's kind of how Donald Trump is on this. But John, that is such a great point. Donald Trump has never been pro-life. If you guys remember when he ran for president the first time, back in 2015 or 2016, he was doing an interview, I think it was with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, and they were asking him about his pro-life bona fides. And they said, so you think that abortion should be, you're pro-life, abortion should be illegal. He said, well, in most cases, outside of the exceptions, rape, incest, life of the mother and everything. And they said, so you think you should punish the abortion docs? Well, absolutely. Do you think the women who get abortions should be punished as well? And this has always been an interesting subject to me for years now, because if you talk to most Republicans, most of them, actually, it's gotten crazier now, but for usually the vast majority of Republicans will say, no, these women are victims. These women are, manipulated by these bloodthirsty abortion doctors, and, they're let down by society. So we shouldn't punish the women, because they know how cruel that sounds. Now, Donald Trump, who came over for, family game night and didn't know the rules of the game, and everyone just kind of told him what it is. He's just still figuring this shit out. He's just doing things that make sense in his head. And he says, well, yeah, of course, if we're against abortion and we're saying that an abortion doctor is a murderer, you're saying the mother is a hitman. So of course you punish the mother. And the next fucking day, he came out saying, oh no, I don't actually want to punish the mother. So yeah, Trump is just trying to figure this shit out. And that's why he keeps saying this. Well, look, everyone told me that they wanted it back to the States when nobody really does. He's just listening to the wrong people on this. And what I write down here, I can't read what I wrote there, but I don't know. The abortion thing is, that's what, more liberal. That's what I wrote. He says later in that interview somewhere, because my favorite part of that is when he's talking about all the conservative states that voted for abortion. He's like, well, I saw what happened in Kansas and Kentucky and in Iowa, and I'm thinking in Florida the result's going to be pretty liberal as well. So Trump sees what's happening. He knows what's going on. He can deny that. He just knows, he's, like you said, he's in an unenviable position here. He can't win either way. The next one I'm going to pull up here, I think this one is about gun control. And there's just something funny he says
TJ,
here.
Before you play this one, I want to make one comment. Keep it up here, because we were talking about this earlier, and now it's really starting to just click in my mind. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that suit looks a little big. He looks like he's lost significant weight.
Yes, I agree. I noticed that too. Like earlier today, I say, because why I noticed it, because yesterday we were talking about the only compliment I can give to JD Vance is his tailor is doing an amazing job. Like his suits are cut very well. Like
barber fucked, but his tailor very good.
Tailor, yeah, it's and Trump's suits have never fit him well. They always do like this ridiculous thing where the tie is too long and the jacket is all weird, but it does look a little worse. And I noticed it, I think, did you guys see that Donald Trump was interviewed by Aiden Ross the other day? Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that. His suit looked like really free flowing then. So I don't know. It does look like he's losing some weight. And yeah, he's just kind of lethargic. What do you think, EK?
Maybe he's having a medical operation or something like that, where and that's just like the result, because like we know he's not on a treadmill.
Well, no, he's got to stay in shape for his like 14th consecutive club championship. EK, did you
Yeah,
see he
yeah.
hit
Like,
birdies
dog, you
back
don't
to
get
back
that
on par fours? That's a literal thing that he said he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw Laura Loomer post that he hit 2 birdies on back-to-back on par fours. And then I saw someone comment that Tiger Woods has never done that once in his career, but Donald Trump did it, I'm sure. You guys probably know this, but you guys know that Donald Trump literally does not exercise. He's philosophically against it. He thinks that exercise kills you, that the human body is like a battery with a limited amount of energy you can expend, and once you use up all of your energy, you die. And so that's why he doesn't exercise. I don't know if you guys ever heard that, but that's
I've
a thing
never
for Donald Trump.
but it checks out. I believe just
Yeah.
like the Katie Vance house
Yeah.
fucking story. I don't need to hear any confirmation. I'm just gonna. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being here, getting to the end of this episode. If you were live with us instead of watching it afterwards, you might have been able to actually make a comment and got us to talk about it. So definitely join us live next time. That is after you like and subscribe this video. If you liked our guest, EK, how about you tell our audience where they can find you?
Okay, so you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok at what good. Dear God, I'm so bad at plugging myself.
Own name, EK.
What's good English? What's good English? YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. I think it's like here-ish.
Yep.
Kind of is. The what's is there.
Yeah. I will say, what's good English is a very funny word to trip over. That's a term to trip over. That's pretty good. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate everything. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that. Just so you know, if you plan on protesting Vice President Harris anytime soon, be sure to send your potential protest to EK and clear it with him first. That way, he's not going to roast the fuck out of you in front of hundreds of thousands of people. So appreciate it, folks. Catch you next time.
That was good. That was good.